Hi there, it's Tommy Larkin with Optimal Movement Fitness and Yoga, and today is tweak number 52. It's been 1 year, and I have a core exercise for you that I think you'll really enjoy in preparation for the summer months. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me today. Now, this is the 52nd week of doing these tweaks, and this came originally as a client who said you should do these as like these tweaks as like a little bonus for people. Like you should post these as a little marketing program. And so I set on that and thought about it and figured out what I want to do and how I want to do it. And if you've been along for the year, you've seen the evolution, I think, of moving from a simple about the strengthening the hands to completely the whole body in different ways, from how we have helped maybe those of you who sit for long periods of time and keeping some of the mobility during the day, to building up strength in our forearms and gaining more ability in our core, and looking at how some of the foundation of our poses are set through actions in our legs and our hips and our arms. Now today, I want to bring in just a really quick core exercise, and you'll probably notice I have a basketball, or at least a ball, underneath my arm, and it's one of the ways that you can do this quick core exercise. There's actually 4 levels of which you can do this, and I'm going to show you all 4 of those, the ball being the one that I think is actually the most challenging when it comes down to it from the simplicity of this exercise. So I'm going to put this down and we're just going to get straight to it. So really quickly, just so you know, this is focusing on the transverse abdominis, which are the abdominal muscles on the front of the body that move this way, and they are the deepest muscles into the body. A lot of people refer to them as like the girdle muscles, because if you were to think of an old girdle from like the Victorian age and they cinch it tight on the women, it pulls around this way, and that's essentially one of the aspects that your transverse abdominis does. It technically not only goes around towards the back, but it actually contracts back towards the center, and that's actually the primary direction it goes to. So this is the focus here. It also helps us strengthen our quadratus lumborum, which we talked about, I think, in one of the last couple of tweaks that we've been in, and stretching those. Now we're going to get some stabilization and strengthening there, and it does benefit the obliques as well because it's a rotational core work. Now this one doesn't require you to have to lay down and do crunches. It doesn't require you to fold forward and do crunches. You actually stand upright. So everything we've been working on lately with lengthening the head out of the belly and the tailbone out of the heart and getting that cat and cow feeling in the belly and the chest respectively are all in play here. So let's just get right to it now. So you can do this with shoes on or shoes off. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it either way. I just happen to have my shoes off for the illustrations this evening. So get your feet about hip distance apart, and you want to find those inner legs move to the feet, the outer legs move to the hips. That's going to help you lift the belly, and use that to help stretch the head out of the belly button, and then take the tailbone long out of the heart towards the floor. And then bring the arms up into a little, I guess I like to call it the robot position. And then on the inhale, you lengthen, and on the exhale, you're just going to twist to the right side, and inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the right side, and inhale, come back to center, and exhale, twist to the right side, and inhale back to center, and then you go to the left, obviously. So we'll do 3 to the left. Exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Good. Now before I show you the next levels, my assistant Lloyd's going to come into the picture here. We've had some rains and he's been a little nervous today. He gets a little out of sorts with some of the thunder and lightning that happens. So anyway, back to our focus. It's good sometimes. I think it's nice to see the realness of what we do in our lives. So the second way to do it is to lift the one heel. So if you're twisting to the right, you're going to lift the right heel, right? So you twist to the right here, and you twist to the right here, and that's going to give the next level of proprioception, which means the imbalance in the body. So you're forced to do a little more work of stabilization. Likewise, on the left side, you would lift the left heel and go to the left, okay? The third level is to actually lift the knee. Now, some people think this is a little more challenging than with the ball because you're standing on one leg with one leg in space, but you're going to do the same twist here, right? It's just the 3 twists, right? And obviously, you would do the other side. And I'm just doing a couple really quickly there. Obviously, I'm doing it quite fast, so balance-wise, I kind of lost it there myself. So the third one is to lift one leg. Now, some people think this is more challenging than maybe with the ball, and you might find that for yourself. I find with the ball more challenging, and I'll get to that in a second. But as you're steady here, you then turn in, and you're working that crunch action of rotating here. Right? Now, very important is to keep this lifted foot engaged. If you just let it hang, it pulls you down towards the floor. That will create less ability to balance in the work that you're doing. And then the fourth one is to use the ball. Now, when you're using the ball, I'm going to turn sideways here really quickly so you can see. You want the ankle underneath the knee. Okay, so that's the first thing to note. The second one is that you want the feet to be hip distance apart. So the same when we were working standing, you want that here. Now, you work those inner legs, the feet, the outer legs, the hips, and you lift, you extend, and then you're going to work the twist, right? And the reason I feel like this is more challenging is I have that, the mind actually wants to stand on the ball. So as a result, that push down makes the ball move. So like having, you can even see there, if you go, sometimes if you're not set, you'll probably lose your balance, and that's okay, right? All right, so then likewise, you would go the other foot, and you get all set back up, right? And then you would be working here, right? Good. So those are the 4 ways. If you don't have a ball, it's perfectly fine. Work one of the other 3. And if you want to have the leg elevated because you feel, especially when you start elevating the leg, it works the body a little bit differently in the process, gives you some different advantages. If you don't have a ball and you want to lift the leg, but staying lifted is a little bit too challenging, you can use a stool or a chair seat, right? That will work just as well to give you that elevation, right? So the last thing I want to mention is that in this whole process, you're working on keeping the hips stationary, then parallel to the floor and parallel to the front of the mat. So as you're standing here, right, and you're rotating, you don't want to turn the hips. This is not trying to turn the hips. You're really trying to move from, this is my belly button right here. These are the bottom of my sternum, basically. You're trying to move from just above or right in between that area. That's where you want to have the rotation from, right? That's what makes the most challenge for this, right? As well as maintaining, and I'll recap there really quickly, keeping that cow in the chest and cat in the belly and that extension in the spine, right? So my recommendation here is 6 times each side. And if you find the first one easy, try the second one, do 6. If that still is easy, go to the third level, try that and work towards 6, right? And then if that's easy, go to the ball and do 6 there. And if those are all easy, then add a second set to all of that at either the single leg lifted or the ball. If you made it through all 4, then do the ball or the single leg. If you're still working with just one knee bent and the heel lifted, then you work there and you can work a second set of 6. You can then build that up to 10 or 12 in each set. But I find 6 is a great number to start with and let your body start to understand what we're doing here and how we want to progress. So there you go. I hope you gained great benefit from today's work. If you have any questions about this tweak or any previous one, let me know. Put your question in the comments of the specific tweak and I'll get back to you. Also, if you like today's tweak, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Plus, check out the website and follow us on social media for other inspiration and great ways to increase your optimal vitality. You'll find those links in the description below. As always, thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, have an amazing week and be excellent to each other.